you realize that you actually know absolutely nothing about the music industry at all. It's like a really harsh reality. It's like, oh, that was just a reality TV show, not the music industry. Cool. Okay. So then I just kind of had to learn for myself, and I realized I didn't want to be pegged as like a cover artist and as a kind of, I mean, American Idol had created a brand for me and I didn't like it. And so I wanted to start over, create my own brand. And it's weird that once I went by an alias, I felt more myself than I ever had the past few years of doing that. So it was really cool. Yeah, it was a good learning experience. Sure.
Yeah, well, but it's incredible though, because the EP that you put out in 2016, I feel like that was your debut EP, right? And I feel like like it really, like the artistry in that EP is like very fully formed. Like that, there's not, I mean, whatever like your journey was between the two. That's why I bring it up, because I feel like for me as someone who like, I think I've discovered you because like we're like artists on Spotify, and I was like, I always I like have always genuinely liked listening to people. I guess because that's, maybe it's like narcissistic. I'm like, I like my music, so I figure I like people's music.
I'm the same way. You've been my I don't know if it's fans also like or similar to or whatever for such a long time. You've been my top one.
Yeah. Look at us. Look at us.
Yay.
But it's really incredible because I had no idea. I had no idea that you had sort of started in that world, and it didn't even, I mean, I guess like you don't assume anything. I just sort of take the music and listen, but like there's such artistry in, especially like from the jump of that first project, that it's like there's not even like a trace of any of that. So I feel like that's really rare also, to take the time and to like, I just feel like it must have been like that's like a real like risk in saying like I'm gonna like really take a minute and like figure out my artistry. I'm not gonna like, any left turn I think you make creatively is scary, but like so
yeah, I mean, a lot of people didn't like it. Like a lot of the fans from that season in my life didn't, just like weren't about it. And still to this day I get like, why? Like I still get that all the time. But I mean, I released an EP in 2014 under Angie Miller, and I think it had only been a few months after, when I played shows live, I was like, I don't like my own music. It's like, I don't like sing. I'm like kind of embarrassed of my own music. I was like, okay, this has to change. I don't like it. I don't like the brand. And so I actually met one of my favorite producers and songwriters at a show. Do you know Copeland, the band Copeland?
Yes, I love Copeland.
Yes, I do too. I love them. And they were opening for Paramore, two of like my favorite bands growing up. And afterwards they were at the merch table and I just started talking to him, and eventually through Twitter direct message, like, hey, would you want to produce my EP? You know, would you want to help me out? And so I do credit a lot of the early stages of finding my sound and who I am to him, because he really took the time and like helped mold my sound to that EP that you were talking about. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, it's incredible too how like one collaborator, like, I mean, I can pinpoint in my like life of making music, you know, 2 or 3 people that like were that, you know, at a time because when you're kind of coming up and you're finding your way or whatever, it's hard to find those people that say, I see what this can be. Like when you don't have the music yet, when it's just like your words and right, like now I'm sure you go into sessions, you go into things, there's an established sound, people know who you, people know like what you're about, you know? And I think that that's easier. But in that very beginning stages, I remember this when I was like trying to explain to people what like Ariana and the Rose sounded like. And I had like bits and pieces, but I didn't know yet. I was like, it's like Robin, but like the piano, and everyone was like, so wait, so you want to be like a singer-songwriter? I'm like, no, like it's synths, and everyone, and then like synths is like such a broad topic, like holy shit. You're getting a ton of fan love in the comments. Wait, hold on. I want to guys tell us your favorite Zealyn songs because everyone's starting to, and I love that. Someone saying "You Set Me Free" is my favorite, Jennifer. Someone saying they're a big fan. Someone was saying "Weathered" was a good EP though. Someone else is saying "I love all your songs." Someone else was saying "Limbic System." That came out in 2019, right?
The Limbic System was my first EP, 2016.
Oh, was your first EP? Got it.
And
someone I really like Weathered too. Weathered is getting a lot of love. Another person's loving Weathered. Guys, I love this.
They're saying that they liked Weathered because that's the EP that I said I didn't like, that I released under my real name.
Well, listen, that's what I love the most about that is that you guys love Weathered and you're still here online.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 years. So like way to be ride or die fans. That's like incredible.
Lost in the Sound helped me when I was going through a tough time. Well, thank you. I'm glad to know that those songs really did mean something to people. Like that's great. I love that.
But every artist has this. Like I had a whole like life before. I wasn't obviously dealing with things in front of the world obviously gives it like such a different weight, right? Because you're not able to make those mistakes and change things in private. But like I even had someone on here at one point. I put a song out called "In Your Bed," like it was one of the first singles I ever put out. And it ended up like this was before people like were really hip to like being able to like boost things or YouTube ads or whatever, and the song just like got like all these like streams and whatever, and people loved it, and I was like, wait, this is like not what I'm trying to do. Like it just like it happens, and it ended up being on like we did like remixes, and it ended up being on like the Billboard dance charts, and it was like getting played in gay clubs, and like the LGBTQ community has been like incredible to me. But at the time, I was like, wait, this is like not what I'm trying to, like, you just have a second where you're like, this isn't exactly it.
Totally. Yeah.
And I still love that song though. And like, it still opened up amazing doors for me, but it just like the overall image and the like vibe wasn't what I wanted to do. And I think every artist has that. Like every make music they don't love before you figure out the music that really sounds
totally. And it is crazy to see like what people grab onto. I mean, I'm sure so many celebrities can say that, like they have a whole album and they didn't like like recently when Billie Eilish said that no one thought that Bad Guy was even going to be a thing at all. And it's just crazy what people grab onto. You never know. Like it just it's such a guessing game.
3 years ago, no one would have put Billie Eilish on the radio. Like, it's incredible. I mean, that music is like dark 808, like grimy, like synth basses. It's like has really dark sort of like lyrical content. Like someone wrote "In Your Bed" was a good song though. Thanks guys. You guys are really giving both of us like a lot of love for our past hidden things. Someone said everyone's loving. Oh, you guys are so. Your fans are. Someone
they love on the new song "Anywhere" Scrona. Woo!
Yes, I know. I saw that just came out. I love that. That's like a dance bop. We're gonna get to the newest stuff too. So I really appreciate all of you guys saying all of your love comments in the comments section. Also, if you have questions and you want us to talk about things, if you're just joining us, throw in some questions or things you want us to chat with as well.
Nicole, John, what's up, everybody? Okay, sorry.
I know we could get stuck in the comments.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Thank you guys. I mean, I think that means, I mean, I don't know how it makes you feel, but it means a lot to me. Even if it's a song that I ultimately like took down or whatever, the fact that anyone like loved it and is still with me and like wants to hear the new stuff, like that is, I mean, it's really, I feel very grateful for that. But So I mean, you've also like you've put out so much music since then, all so good, and then you've also toured a ton. I feel like there's been live is like a real home for you. It seems like what has like been being on the road done? I mean, you've done like a couple like cross country tours, I think, right? I don't know if they were supports or they were headline shows or what the deal was, but.
It was like a mixture of both. It was just kind of let's hit the road and book whatever shows we can, and some of them were supporting for artists, and some of them were headlining, just depending on the area. But yeah, I did a full U.S. tour for each EP. So one in 2018 was it 2016 or 2017 or something, and then one in 2019 after this most recent EP. And it is my hands down absolute favorite part of doing music. I mean, I love being in the studio and I love writing songs, but I will take a live show any day over a studio day. Um I kind of feel like it just feels so much more of like what I'm meant to do. You know what I mean? Like some
Yeah.
people are so good at in the studio and they thrive there and they could spend forever there. And I mean, as much as I love it, I'm not that person. Like I spend enough time in the studio and I'm like, okay, but like, can we play these songs live now?
Yeah.
um,
Where you make the music to give it away. Like it's like not, I feel very
right,
similarly. Like this, like it's not finished. Like it's like the circle's not complete until you're like at the show singing the song
totally.
and can like feel the energy of an audience.
Yeah. I, I I'm so confused as to what's going to happen in the next year. If it, I don't know. I don't know how accurate it is, but I read somewhere